The YoloBox Mini has one HDMI input and one USB webcam input. In this video, I'll show you how you can add a third camera using the new remote guest feature in the YoloBox Mini. Hi, I'm Aaron Parecki. The YoloBox Mini recently got a firmware update that adds the remote guest feature from the YoloBox Pro. It's super great that Yololiv keeps shipping updates for these to make them even more and more powerful. Normally, you can use the remote guest feature to bring in a remote guest, send them a link that they can join in their browser, and then you can bring them into the stream. But another thing you can do with it is to send yourself the invitation link and then join with your own camera from your studio. So let's go through this step by step. Right now, I've got an HDMI camera and a USB webcam connected to the YoloBox Mini. That's this overhead camera that I'm filming with, as well as the Insta360 link, which can actually follow my face as I move around. So I'm gonna scroll over to this little people icon, which is the invite guest feature. Go ahead and click on allow participants to join, and then click on the invite guests arrow. Normally you would type in your guest's email address and click send, but instead press this send link to me button. That's gonna email a link to you to the address on your YoloBox account. And now I'll go back to the video switcher tab here, which is where I can see my two cameras. Now I'll go into my email and click the accept invite link from the email. You'll get prompted, of course, to share your camera with the browser. Go ahead and click join, and you should see your phone's camera pop up in the preview. So I'm gonna turn this horizontal so it's a normal shape. You can even at this point choose which of your phone's cameras you're using. So I'm using the back camera here. Type in the name, I'll just type in phone. I will mute myself because I don't want the audio, and I'll click join event. And now you can already see my phone's videos popped up in the YoloBox. Let's take a closer look at that. This is the phone camera showing you around the studio that I'm looking at, and it's showing up as a wireless camera. So if I switch to it, we'll actually cut to this angle and you can see what I've got in front of me. Let's go ahead and put this on this little tripod here. And now it's as easy as cutting to the phone camera just like it was another camera angle. Keep in mind this is using Wi-Fi on the phone, so you will get a split second of a compressed image before it cuts over to the full bandwidth version. And now on my YoloBox Mini, I've got three cameras. I got my phone camera, I've got my overhead over HDMI, and I've also got the USB webcam over here. Once your phone is connected into the YoloBox here, it's actually just the same as any other camera. You can even do things like crop or chroma key out your phone's camera. I don't have a very good green screen back there, but you can see it is chroma keying the background there. But you can also go ahead and crop in if you wanted to use a smaller portion of the video. So I'll do a little close-up of my face and fit to screen, save that as a new source, and now I've got a second angle I can use from my phone. You can do this with your main camera angles as well. Chroma keying and cropping are new features that they've added in a recent update here. So that's it. It's pretty simple. My phone is joined in a browser to the Yololiv webpage that is now shared into the YoloBox itself. Of course, you're not limited to joining from a phone. If you wanted to join from a computer with a USB capture card with a good camera, or even just a built-in webcam of a laptop, that would work just as well too. You can join that remote guest link from a computer, and then any of your computer's webcams will show up in the YoloBox. One quick note about sync. I should mention this before I wrap up. The video feed from your phone over the wireless connection will almost certainly be slightly out of sync compared to your normal cameras. If we take a look at the YoloBox interface here, you can see this is my phone's feed and this is the USB feed. We can actually make a split screen to compare them side by side to get a good sense of the delay. So let's make a side by side, one with the USB camera and one with the phone, and we'll just leave it with a nice gradient background. So let's go ahead and change to the side by side angle, and now you can really see the difference between the delay in the two cameras. Just for good measure, here's a clap test. So what this means is that you probably will want to use your phone or any other wireless camera in a way where the delay doesn't matter. When both cameras are pointed directly at me as I'm speaking on the camera, the delay is extremely obvious and kind of uncomfortable. But if I was just showing you around the studio, then obviously it doesn't matter if it's a fraction of a second out of sync. So now as I am panning around the studio, you can't really tell that this feed is delayed because you can't see me talking in it. So that works just as well for a roving camera at an event if you wanted to give your phone to somebody else and they could go somewhere else around the venue and film. And of course, you are limited by the cell phone's internet connection, so make sure that your cell phone is either on a good Wi-Fi or has a really strong cell signal. You may have noticed, as I've been cutting around between the different angles and jumping to the phone, that for a split second, the phone's video is pretty compressed. I think what's going on is that when I'm on a camera that's not the wireless phone, you can see my download speed up in the corner. The download speed is actually just 6 kilobytes a second, which is very low. And that's just enough to update this preview image in the corner here. And it's only a few frames a second that it's updating. It's also very small. So when I cut to it, it's going to be a little bit grainy for a bit until it gets the good bandwidth feed. And now I'm downloading 700 kilobytes a second, quite a lot more. So I think that's just a bandwidth optimization trick they've done to make it so that it doesn't have to download the full feed all of the time. So that's about it for this video. Let me know in the comments if you have any other questions. And as always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.